Good morning.
Good morning. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Can you still cheers even if it's just coffee?
Of course.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So we that's okay. Oh, you need a coaster. Okay.
I don't want to get your stool. We have a stool in front of us now. And I drink iced coffee. It's just in a mug, so.
So it's condensating.
Right.
Okay, so
Anyway.
welcome to our channel.
Yes, welcome.
So one of the reasons we wanted to start this YouTube channel was to share lots of different things with you all. We love to talk about DIY, we love to talk about decorating, but we also love just talking about life. And we connecting and feel like there's such a need for connection these days, even if it's through the interwebs.
Right.
Because like, you know, there's so many, everybody has so many stories, and the more that we share and connect, you know, with people, they can kind of see themselves and think, oh yeah, I've gone through that too, or relate to it in some small little way, and makes us feel less alone. And I don't know, we just want this space to be inspiring and encouraging, and a place where you just feel like you're sitting down with a couple friends, having a cup of coffee, and just feel a little bit better. Yes. So
Yeah. So we decided that, I don't know, maybe once a
very,
month.
very close.
Do we need to be this close?
I don't know. We don't have the selfie thing on. We got our fancy camera. We don't even know if this is really working, but we think we're in the frame, so we feel like we're very close. Anyway. Sorry if my breath is...
No, it's okay. We're good.
Okay, good. What were you saying?
I don't remember. Okay. No, but yeah, we just want to encourage, and yeah, last month was Mental Health Month, and I think it was June 1st, and I was like, oh yeah, last month was Mental Health Month, and I think in our very first video, I had mentioned that that was a struggle for me. It was kind of something that kind of caused us one thing to kind of pivot our business. But I think we both were going through things. And so we just kind of wanted to share a little bit, just kind of, you know, they have all these months and days. I can't even keep up with anything.
Yeah.
So I think it is important to have a month dedicated to, you know, something like mental illness, which is a really important thing, but really
all year long.
Yeah,
right?
it always needs attention. And, you know, when you're going through that, you know, you need to hear about it other times, because I know from
so
personal
many
experience,
of us struggle with
right?
it. Yeah,
and that's definitely something that I feel like when someone else is going through it, you just get comfort from that.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hard when you're going through it to explain, you know, it's in your head, and like so it's an illness. It's, you know, it's a sickness. You know, it makes us unwell, but you can't see it. You know,
Right.
you don't have a bandage
Right.
or a cut or, you know, something that shows you people that what you're going through.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just really important to touch on that. So we just kind of wanted to share that was, you know, kind of pivotal in why we decided to do this and why we felt led to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to
where should we start talking
I
about
guess-
like late winter, or
Yeah.
like after we had like a ton of jobs?
Yeah. I
We
think
used to decorate for clients, by the way, in case you're new here.
Right.
And we really were like scheduling like crazy,
Right.
and had a ton of full service jobs where we shop and style and do all the things. First of all, our bodies were just like, and we just couldn't keep up with that with autoimmune stuff that I have, and Jen's got a lot of back issues. And so that was like our first like red flag that was like, y'all need to stop.
Right.
And then,
When I think we took a break in December. We kind of took December
after
off like a crazy
Fall was
several
nuts.
months. And I think that was good for us, but I think it made us kind of realize, okay, like, you know, can we keep this going at the rate that we're going?
Your back was getting really bad at that point.
Yeah, so I have a spinal cord problem. I have spina bifida and a tethered spinal cord, and so I actually was diagnosed with a tethered cord again. I had an MRI and everything, and I was in really debilitating pain. I don't think it was it's not something that you like injure your back, so I don't think it was from doing all the heavy lifting and everything, but that certainly wasn't helping. Mm-hmm. And it certainly prevented me from being able to do anymore.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was like, well, we're not going to be able to do that. You were having knee problems. And so we were going to continue like the business, but just not do the full service.
Yeah.
And just do consultations and kind of take it back. We were thinking about doing virtual consultations. But like, I think we both kind of just, even though we weren't really saying it, we both were kind of taking time on our own. And we didn't feel like either of us felt like that was what we were supposed to do.
Right.
There was like something holding me
there
back.
was some, yeah. And like, I feel like I was just kind of confused.
Yeah.
In general, and like seeing you kind of like not really fully wanting to go that route. It was just, we were kind of just like in a holding.
Right.
Like, what are we doing? Like,
right.
How can we still like help people? And you're a homeschool mom.
Right.
And so, and I have 3 older kids that are all in school all day. So it was like, we couldn't really find that time to like, you know?
Yeah.
And you said like, I feel like I'm giving neither one what it deserves.
Right.
You know, the kids.
Yeah, I would feel guilt about
work.
like not doing enough, you know, for you, although you never made me feel that way, and I was able to do stuff at home.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was
then
just kind of hard.
It was just a hard season.
Hard.
Yeah.
And I honestly really didn't know. I mean, I remember at some point coming to you and like, you know, during this time and saying like, what do you like see this continue? Like, is that what you want? Like, I don't want to be in this if you don't want to be in this, you know? It's a partnership, and if one of us is not, you know, heart isn't in it, then we're just not, you know, we can't do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, meanwhile, all of this is going on, and like, you know, we've got 2 kids going to private school next year, and it's like, where is the money gonna come from for tuition? And like just a lot of stresses. And it was like the end of winter where it's just been like gray and cold for like 6 months, it feels like. Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, there just felt like a cloud over like the household and like the business. And then you were.
Yeah. So I went through, like after my back was really bad, I think it was because of the MRI, and I had surgery 17 years ago, so I was starting to have anxiety because I was actually supposed to get scheduled for surgery because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And going through the MRI was really traumatic for me. I'm very claustrophobic. And so I had this anxiety that kind of welled up that was very severe. Yeah. Anxiety and depression, I would say, that I've had at different times in my life. But you know, I think I've been able to kind of self-medicate in a way, like by being busy and just, you know, I didn't realize I was unwell. I put a post out on our Instagram on Good Friday, and one of the things I said was I've been sick for a long time. And I think that's one thing with mental illness. Like sometimes you live with it so long that you think it's normal. And you think that, you know, this level of anxiety and depression that you live with is normal until you realize that it's not. And so I was in this period where it was so severe that I mean, I was having panic attacks. I was it was just a really, really difficult time. It was full-blown anxiety.
You were like couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I mean, there was one night where I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I had a pulse oximeter from, you know, COVID days of like, they said you should, you know, test your oxygen. So I tested my oxygen. It was fine. It was just the anxiety made me feel like I was suffocating, and I almost had to go to the hospital one night because I felt so, like, scared. And so it was just a really hard time. But, you know, I have very strong faith, and through all of that, God taught me a lot. I'll share, you know, more in detail probably at some point, but there was one day in there that it was just a really cool day where I think God just brought all of these things together for me. And you know, back to when when you asked me that question of, do you think you want to continue with this? And there was a part of me that was like, no, I don't. And then I believe that God was still telling me, like, don't give up yet. Like, there's something else that I have for you. And so even though it felt like undoable, I felt like I was being stretched, I just felt like God was saying, just hold on, just be patient, don't give up yet. And so that's what I did. And so I hadn't thrown in the towel. I hadn't said, I can't do this anymore. And so there was this one day particularly where God just kind of met me and just kind of shared with me, and just gave me peace about everything. And just really, I just feel like I was able to surrender and put my trust. I've trusted him for a long time, but really surrender, including, this business and everything. And I think it was when I had an opportunity to share. I think I called you for like a tax question or something.
Yeah, we're doing taxes and stuff, and you're like, if you ever have if you have a minute, because I would really love to share what happened to me the other day. And I said, sure. And you called me up, and I just shared so many beautiful ways that God was kind of like speaking to you through so many different people and at your church, and even, through homeschool.
Right.
And
I'll just interrupt and say, it was this crazy story of one of the things I was so anxious about was going on anxiety medication. That's, what's that called? Ironic, I guess. Isn't it ironic? But I was like terrified because I do a lot of natural medicine and I believe in that, and I was trying to kind of go that route and nothing seemed to be working, and I was terrified of going on anxiety medication, and I had it prescribed, and I just was so afraid to take it. And then I was going to meet with a psychiatrist actually, and I was, my mom, who's dealt with mental illness, was kind of sharing like, you probably need to go on a medication at least for a short time. And I was just, for some reason, I just had this block, and I was just so terrified, and I was Googling and I was trying to figure things out. And that one day when I came home and I was alone and I was just praying, and one prayer I prayed was, God, help me not to go to the computer. Help me not to search for answers. We have all of these things at our fingertips, and I think sometimes it makes us feel like we have control, and what it really does is just creates more anxiety for us. And so I prayed, like, help me not to be worried about it. And the things that I was going to Google before I prayed were, can I go on an anxiety medication and an antidepressant at the same time? And can I take the anxiety medication during the day, because I had started to take it at night, but I wasn't taking it during the day, and my anxiety was terrible, but I was afraid. Can I function? Can I drive my car? Can I drive my kids around? Can I be a mom if I take this medication during the day? And so literally after I prayed, it wasn't 2 minutes, and my phone rang from my homeschool reviewer, because we have to review, a process. And she was calling to schedule our review for the spring, to review all of the things that we had done over the spring semester. And at first I saw the number and I was like, I really don't feel like talking right now. I was in a full-blown anxiety attack. But something made me pick it up, and I picked it up, and we had this conversation. Long story short, she's had spinal surgery, which she shared with me, and then she shared with me that she's also dealt with mental illness, because she asked how I was doing, and I shared this with her just because it affected, when I could schedule something. And she's like, I've been through that too, and I take these 2 medications. And I was like, those were the 2 medications that one was already prescribed, and one that my doctor was thinking about prescribing for me, and the ones that I was going to Google. And she was on the same exact medication. She took them at the same time. All of the questions that I was going to go look up on the computer, she literally answered all of those questions.
And you didn't even want to pick up that phone.
Right, I didn't even want to pick it up. And it was at the perfect timing, and it just reminded me, like, I just had this calm come over me, where it was like God was just telling me, like, I got this. I am for you. And
it still makes me teary-eyed.
Yeah, and you don't have to stress, and all of these things, like, I will lead you if you trust in me. And so I think that's when we had the conversation, and you were kind of sharing with me about, you had just gotten the bill from what you're going to have to pay for next year for private school.
Right, we're like, I need to work. Right. Like, if we're going to not have this business,
Yeah. So you were sharing that, and just how you were kind of in a rut.
Like, I was just in a real rut, like spiritually too. We've tried, like, finding like a place for us, like a church, and we tried so many, and like just nothing felt like the right fit, and we're just really struggling in that aspect. And whenever we're struggling in that aspect, I always feel like this cloud is over our entire household, kind of thing. And so you were sharing also about your church, and you were like, send me the link. You're like, just watch last Sunday's, just I'll send you the YouTube. And I was like, okay. And then when we were getting off the phone, I will cry because, like you said, before we say goodbye, can I pray over you? And I was like, oh goodness, of course, like it's gonna make me cry, but sure. And you prayed for like 5 minutes. It was just this beautiful, I just remember sitting at the table and just like weeping. And I just felt this shift immediately, and then I think it was like the next week, I think we started going to your church. It was the week after Easter.
Yeah.
And we haven't missed a Sunday. It's just, and it is like, just everything just feels like I have never seen you the way I see you now. Like you are just this light that is, I've just never, and I've known you for years.
Yeah.
There's just this weight that's kind of like lifted. And then when we sat down, to discuss this was after Easter when things were starting to, we're like, let's have a work meeting and see like where we're really going to go with this. And we're like, okay, I want to hear, Jen, I always said like, we've always been able to we think the same thoughts and we're like, if what I say is what you are going to say, then, we're going to do it. And I think I went first and I was like, okay. I asked you, and you were like, you go. And I was like, okay. I was like, I think we need to, as much as we've loved working with clients, I feel like in order for us to really feel like we both want to have the flexibility to stay home and we want to share so many stories. We want to have a platform to just help people in any way we can. We're like, what if, is it crazy? What if we just did a YouTube channel and we shared ways that we we love to homemake. We love to do all these things about home. We love being home. Yeah. We're total homebodies. Yeah. And we're like, we can share all the things that we love about home and encourage others to go try these things too and to love their homes and find the beauty in the everyday. And in all aspects, we want to talk about all things. We want to share all kinds of things. And so we'll and she's nodding the whole time. And I was like, is that what you were thinking? And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, then yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. And we're like, how do we do that? We have no idea.
We still don't.
We are the two least tech savvy people on the planet. Yeah. We are paper calendar people. We are notebook people. We don't do anything on our phones. And so we're like, well, this should be interesting. But we just both felt like this was our pivot. Yeah. This was we prayed like crazy, and we always joke, that we're just putting it in his hands, and if this works, then that's the only reason. Right.
Yes. And even our pastor shared that one week, and we were like, yes, that's true. Yes, that is so true. I feel I believe that. My faith has been strengthened, and like you said, I feel like I have this renewing of my faith. But it was through the trials that really made that happen. Storm. I had to be woken up, and I've been through, quite a bit. I'll share other things, but I've been through infertility, and we've gone through adoption and failed adoption, and we both have health problems. So we've, between the two of us, we've got quite a bit. That we've been through, but all of those things, and especially I'll say this anxiety, it was horrible, and anybody who's experienced anxiety or depression or mental illness of any capacity knows how just isolating and just distressing it is. Yeah. But I guess I just want to encourage you that, I believe that God does, even if you don't have a faith, consider that, He gives us these things to bring us closer to Him, and it really... and to share with other people. We go through things, it tells us in the Bible, we go through things so that we can comfort other people. And so, even though it was horrible going through that, looking back, it's it was worth it, because not only was I helped and my faith got even stronger, and I kind of woke up in a spiritual way even more, but I believe it helped you, and that's how God leads us. Life is not easy, and all of these things that we try to fill it with, it's just masking. It's masking the hard parts of life, and so even this, it's never been about making money for us. It's always been about that's our struggle, is that we need we need money. But
we couldn't just do this for free.
Right. But we've always just wanted to help people and share with people. And, I think that's, as much fun as doing the clients was.
Yeah.
It
was.
It
we
was.
had fun there
it was
for a
super
while.
fun. Yeah.
We really did.
Yeah. And it was so great. I know that we got such nice notes and everything when we were done.
Made some friends.
Yeah, made some friends, but we just felt like we want to reach a broader audience. We want to equip and encourage more people, and we already kind of had a platform built up, and so we just wanted to kind of build on that. If there's anything that we could talk about that we touched on today and you want to hear more about, like we said, we'll be doing these. We haven't figured it out quite yet, but we think maybe
just
monthly.
Like to win things. If you didn't.
Or we could do it more often if the people want it.
If the people want it.
But yeah, if there's anything that we talked about that you'd like to know more about, or anything, just let us know. We love to know what you guys think, and we hope that we're an encouragement. And
yes,
we're looking forward to sharing more in the time to come.
We never really know how to end these things. So let's end it with don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.